Okay. All right. Hi, guys. I'm Morgan Hensley. I'm going to be acting as your mediator for today. Please call me Morgan if you're comfortable with that, or Miss Hensley. Morgan's fine with me. Could you guys introduce yourselves to me?
My name's Emily
Okay.
Owens.
All right.
I'm Chance Cox.
Okay. And I can call you Emily?
Yeah, that's
And you,
fine.
Chance?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I want to just make sure before we begin that you both have the authority to mediate this issue, and whatever outcome we come to, you guys are both um, have the authority to reach that agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what we're going to be doing today is called a mediation. It's an informal process where we're going to attempt to resolve your issues in a manner that you both can agree to. We're going to reach an outcome that you're both happy with. I'm a neutral party to this situation, and my goal is to help you both evaluate your options and reach an agreement on your own. So I'm not here to suggest anything. I'm not here on anyone's side. I'm just here to help you both resolve this. I'm not a judge, so I can't bind you guys. Just keep that in mind. Okay. There's 7 steps to the mediation process. We're going to go through all of them. Each one is designed to help us reach an agreement. Okay. I'm going to go through both sides of the story. I know you both have a disagreement. I'm going to give you both a chance to talk. I know that you wanted to call this mediation, so I'm going to start with you, if that's okay with you. Okay. Let me just remind you guys that everything here is confidential. You guys have read this agreement. You know not to talk about this to other parties, and I will not take it anywhere else besides this mediation. If you both can agree to that and sign it for me. Okay, do either of you have any questions so far?
No.
No.
Okay. I'm going to establish some ground rules. I want this to be a very neutral, very calm process. So if you guys have any disagreements, please just talk just to me. At the end, you guys can talk to each other, but just so I know what's going on and so we don't have any tension, just please address me when you talk. Both of you will have a chance to say your side of the story, so please don't interrupt each other. Everyone will get to express their opinions in turn. Okay. Can you both agree to these ground rules?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start with Emily because she requested this mediation. Don't forget, Chance, you'll have a turn to go when she's finished. So, Emily, if you'd like to start.
I guess it's just been a rough time for me. Chance is my landlord. I live, in one of his apartment buildings. I've been there for about a year. Last week he broke into my apartment
Okay.
and took some of my property. I'm like a single girl living alone. I feel very unsafe with a landlord who is just going into my home. So, I saw him the next day. I tried to confront him in the best way. I was obviously like scared a little bit, but he was really aggressive, basically threatened me, told me that I'd regret it if I didn't move out immediately. So, I think he needs to be held accountable for the threats that he's making for breaking into my apartment. I do owe, I guess, I do owe 2 months rent,
Okay.
which is why he said he broke in there, but that's still, there's like other ways to get rent besides breaking in and stealing someone's property. So, he hasn't made any repairs that I've asked for in the apartment. I have like roaches now. It's just disgusting. So I'm like, don't see why I should pay rent for a roach infested apartment. So I just, called this mediation because I want him to be held accountable
Okay.
for what he did to me.
Okay, so let me just summarize this for you. You've lived in this apartment for about a year. Chance has been your landlord the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. And you say he broke into your apartment. What did he take exactly?
Well, I'm not sure about everything, but I think there was some jewelry that was taken. He went through like my bills and stuff. I can't even tell what's not in there anymore.
Okay.
And just some other like knickknacks I had
Okay.
around the house.
So he took your property. He entered your house without your permission.
Yeah.
So he has a key.
Well, yeah, he's a landlord, but they're
Okay.
supposed to let me know
Right.
like 24 hours in advance if he's coming in, and I never got any call,
Okay.
no information, and he
Okay.
broke in.
All right. So Chance came into your apartment, took some of your belongings, and you're feeling unsafe. You feel like Chance. You're feeling scared of Chance, and you said you confronted him, and he was threatening you to move out and was aggressive with you.
Yeah, he told me I'd regret it.
So how did that incident end up?
I mean, I just walked away. I was scared,
Okay.
and I left the situation.
So you also owe 2 months rent. You think that might be one of the motives for Chance?
I think that's why he's mad at me. Yeah.
Okay, and also you're complaining that he hasn't done any of the repairs that you've asked him to make.
Right.
And you have a bug problem.
Yeah. I saw a cockroach in my kitchen.
Okay.
And my garbage disposal doesn't work.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have Chance tell your side of the story now.
I want to start by saying that the allegations about me breaking in and stealing are just absurd. That's
Okay.
not who I am. That's not what I'm about. That's completely crazy, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So basically, this tenant has not paid rent in 2 months.
Okay.
And it really upsets me because I'm a hardworking member of the community, just like you are. I'm just trying to make a living, serve the community, make money, and so that's been really upsetting for me. I think any landlord who's been withheld rent for 2 months would be feeling the same way I was. Now, in terms of the door being broken down, it was about last week. I walked by the tenant's apartment, and I found that the door had been broken down. Now, since I haven't been receiving rent, I was just assuming that the tenant wasn't living there anymore. I thought that the tenant had moved out. And so at that point, I placed the apartment in what we call storage, which is basically I was doing it to protect the tenant. I thought that she wasn't living there, but her stuff was still there. So I placed it in storage. That way, no more of her stuff would get stolen because somebody had obviously broken in there. And then now this storage is a $50 a month fee, just basically there's not much stuff being used, but it's
unfair.
that's what it is. I mean, I was doing it to protect her. I guess at this point, due to all these disagreements, I just want the tenant out of the property. I'd like the 2 months rent, probably maybe a portion of the storage fee, which is $50 a month. I'm just angry with the whole situation, and I guess that's about it.
Okay, well, let me summarize. So you're her landlord. So you were walking by her apartment, and it looked like her apartment had been broken into.
Yeah,
So you're saying
the door had been
So
kicked
you
in.
just were able to just walk in. You didn't even have
Yeah.
to use a key.
Right.
Okay, so and then when you entered there, what did you take anything?
No, I just looked and saw that all of the tenant's stuff was in there, and then that plus the fact that she hadn't been paying rent led me to believe that maybe she wasn't living there, and that's
Okay,
why.
So
I
you
placed it in
assumed she had vacated the property.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you're talking about a storage fee. So what does that mean exactly?
Storage fee's just the price because the stuff's in there. It's locked up. It's being protected for them.
So all of her
in case-
things have been moved somewhere else? Is that what you
No,
mean?
they're in there. I'm keeping everything locked up,
Okay.
and the fee is just maintaining, so I don't
Okay.
lose on it.
Okay. All right. So basically, you want the tenant out. You want your 2 months rent that you're owed, and you're maybe asking for some of the storage fee to be repaid.
Possibly, but
Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, the problem we have is that Emily owes you rent, and you feel like Chance broke into your apartment, took some of your things. He's not doing his landlord duties, and Okay, all right. Okay, do you guys have any suggestions on what maybe would make you happy? Are you looking to move out? Are you looking to pay the rent? What do you?
Well, I mean, right now, unfortunately, I'm unemployed. I'm
Okay.
actively looking for a job, um, but I just need a little bit of time. Before all of this, it's been an okay place to live. So, um, I'd be willing to pay the back rent, I guess, but I wouldn't be able to get that till I have a job, which hopefully is by the end of this month, that I can find something.
Okay. All right. What
Um,
about the other issues? Are you comfortable living there with Chance being, as you said, aggressive?
well, I'm uncomfortable with the fact that he says he didn't break into my apartment, that someone else had been in there. That makes me a little nervous. But at this time, honestly, like, I just don't really have the money to move to a different place. So, I would rather not have as much one-on-one contact with Chance. I just don't know who to trust. And
Okay.
if he didn't break into my apartment, that's fine, but he still went in there and took property of mine that I'm now apparently being asked to pay for storage when, it's obvious that I'm still living there. Like,
Right.
I just want my property back out of storage.
Okay.
And I don't think I should have to pay to store something.
Okay. And then what about all the repairs you need done?
And that needs done.
So your
it's
disposal? Is that what
garbage
you said?
disposal. I've told him about it.
Okay.
The roaches just are disgusting. I get that it's like, we aren't living at the plaza or something, but I don't think I should have to live with roaches either.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Chance to that. So Emily's concerned about she doesn't have the money right now to pay you the rent. She agrees that she owes you 2 months' rent. She'd be willing to hopefully get a job and then start to repay you. She doesn't really have any other options at this point. So how do you feel about maybe waiting a little while?
I mean, really, I just want the tenant out. I want them evicted. But, after hearing the troubles that she's been going through,
If he evicts me, I'm bringing charges against him.
All right. Well, let's let
for-
Chance finish speaking, and then we'll get back to you. Okay.
I care about this community. It means a lot to me, and that does change things a little bit. I don't want to put somebody out on the street necessarily. That's not to say that I'm not extremely angry with the whole situation. I definitely want the 2 months rent. I'd like to have as much as possible of it as soon as possible.
Okay.
So, I guess that would be my first point: is as much of the rent as soon as possible,
Okay.
and then maybe work out some kind of system to finish the rest of it.
Okay. What about Emily's issue with how you approached her? Do you feel like you were being aggressive during that confrontation?
I was pretty heated about the whole situation, so maybe I was a little, off kilter compared to usual, but I don't feel like I'm typically like that.
Okay.
And I never, when I saw the door kicked in, I never stole anything. I never did anything of that sort. So I'm not really sure where to go from here on that.
Okay.
But I would just say, in general, I want as much of that rent as possible, and then eventually all of it as quick as possible. The storage fees, I don't know, we can work something like that. I was only a couple days, so maybe that's not as important. Maybe we could, if she can promise to get the rent to me
Okay.
in a quick time, maybe I can just waive that.
Okay. And then what about do you know she's been requesting some repairs to be done, her garbage disposal?
I was never aware of any kind of roach problem ever.
Okay.
That changes things. I don't want, if you have a couple roaches, that means you have a million. And I don't want I don't want a property such as that. So, I'm definitely going to hire an exterminator to come in
Okay.
as soon as possible,
And then what about
and then continue to have that done monthly, which
Okay.
is typical.
the disposal?
Yeah, the disposable I was also not aware of. I'd like to have somebody come in and look at it and make sure that it isn't something that she's maybe done, something stuck in there. I'd like to have somebody come in and fix it or look at it, and if the repairman says that it is something that needs done, I'm willing to pay to fix the disposable.
Okay.
Disposal.
Let me talk to Emily about this. Okay, so Chance has agreed to get someone to look at the disposal for you, and if it's something that malfunctioned, he said he would fix it. He also agreed to get an exterminator to come in and take care of your bug problem, and then repeat that every month. He's pretty interested in getting the rent back. I know you said that you're unemployed. Is there anything you can do about the rent?
I mean, I have, basically my last $300 I can give.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just, I can't until I start a job.
Okay. So,
You know,
do you have any plans for employment? Have you been hired
I'm
anywhere?
looking, and I have some interviews lined up. I'm hoping, that I can get something in the next week or so. But
Okay.
I guess,
Okay, so you're willing to give him $300. Would you be willing to give him that today?
yeah, I can give him that.
Okay, and then he has volunteered to fix the roaches and look into the disposal. We still have the issue of just you and Chance interacting together. Do you have any suggestions on what to do about that?
Well, I want notice. I guess the communication's bad. I mean, he says he never heard about my garbage disposal problem, which I feel like I had made someone in his office aware of, and I didn't know of his plans to enter my apartment, which I have rights. So if he's going to come to my apartment at any time, I want 24 hours notice.
Okay,
And if he can't get a hold of me, then there has to be some way. I have a cell phone.
okay. All right, Chance. So she's agreed to pay you $300 today. She's looking for a job. She is unemployed. She's agreed to deal with you if you give her notice before you enter her apartment. And also, there seems to be like a breach of communication. You didn't know about the disposal.
Yeah, I think in terms of the communication, that can be solved simply by, I do have her email address. If I need to talk to her, I will, a day in advance, send her an email. Or if she needs to talk to me, I have a mailbox. She could simply write a short letter, note, stick it in my mailbox, and then I will contact her that way.
Okay.
I think maybe that's a way to solve the communication. Now, I am pleased with getting some of the money today.
Okay.
My only problem is she has interviews, but what if those don't fall through? I'd like to set maybe a deadline where if she doesn't have a job by a certain time that she can start paying me, then I can evict her, because
Right.
I can't just keep having her say, well, I'm going to get a job, and then 3 months later she owes me, $1,000-some. I think it's only fair that by me taking what she can give me now, setting a deadline of when she could have a job to start paying me, I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think that's a very
What kind
fair.
of deadline are you thinking? Like a week, 2
Well,
weeks?
she said she has some interviews. I know sometimes that stuff takes a while. I mean, I still have to. I mean, this is 2 months already, so we're already talking $900, and she's only paying the 3 today. So I would have to put at least some kind of work. Maybe a deadline within the next 2 weeks
Okay.
to at least start getting some sort of income.
Okay. Emily, does that sound fair to you? Like within the next 2 weeks, you'll start paying him.
I mean, I guess I could, if I started a job this week that I get hired, that's at least a week or two until I get a first paycheck. So preferably for me, it'd be the end of the month. And then if I can't pay what I owe by the end of the month, then, obviously I guess it is what it is, and he can
evict you.
you know, do
I think
what he
that's-
has
Does that sound
to
fair?
I
do.
think that sounds fair.
Okay, so Emily's gonna agree to the end of this month. What will you be paying him by then? Do you,
Well, I guess I owe 900 now, and I'm paying 300 today, so I will pay the 600
okay,
back.
okay, and if you can't, complete that, you're willing to move out, or you're willing to let Chance,
He can
Serve you
begin
an eviction
proceedings, but I
notice.
want it to be done through the right
okay,
system,
so the legal
I
steps
guess.
need to be taken.
Yeah, I don't want him just coming into my apartment.
Okay, Chance, does that sound,
I think that sounds fair.
okay, so I'm just gonna summarize this for you guys, and then we can see if we have anything else to work out. So Chance is gonna get an exterminator to fix your roach problem, and he's gonna repeat that every month. He's gonna have someone come look at your disposal, and if that's something that he needs to fix, he will. Chance has agreed to give you notice if he's gonna come into your apartment through email, and if you have a problem with him, you can communicate to him through his mailbox. And you both need to just work on the communication. You agreed on that. Emily said she'll pay you $300 today. Are you gonna pay that by check, or how would you prefer?
Yeah, by check.
Okay. And then Chance set a deadline for the end of this month. You owe him $600 by then. And if that's not paid, then Chance can take the legal steps to evict you.
Yeah.
Is there any other issues that you need to?
I think that sounds right.
Okay. All right. So we agree on that. I'm gonna have this put in writing for you guys. You can both sign this paper for me if you agree, and there's nothing further to be done. And I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you guys if this agreement doesn't pan out the way we planned it to. I encourage you guys to follow through on your agreement, and if you have any other issues, I'm here to help you. Okay?
Okay,
Okay, thank you guys.
thank you.